Hello friends, welcome back to our channel IT India. This is going to be session 3 for the series that we have started, AWS Tutorial for Beginners 2024. In this video, we are going to discuss the topic Regions and Availability Zones in AWS. However, this may be a very simple topic, but you will have some insights about how AWS works from this video. So let's start this video. AWS regions. Each AWS region is designed to be isolated from other AWS region. This design achieves the great possible fault tolerance and stability. I will explain you how it achieves fault tolerance and stability. No worries. When you view your resources, you see only the resources that are tied to the AWS region that you specified. This is because AWS regions are isolated from each other and we don't automatically replicate resources across AWS regions. So you can see the list of regions here and there are certain codes to identify those regions. So basically how these regions are isolated. So basically the resources which are created in US East. Even US East has two regions, US East 1, US East 2. They will be independent as such. If there is any issue in US East 1, suppose there is any earthquake, resources in that particular region are impacted, but the resources in US East 2 will still keep running. That is the benefit of it. And due to that, we are able to achieve greatest possible fault tolerance and stability, we can say. Because there could be multiple reasons for the failure of the resources. Suppose it could be earthquake, it could be fire, it could be like unavailability of electricity due to certain reasons. So there could be so many reasons. But if we have resources isolated in different part of the countries, in different part of the world, then maybe one particular region is impacted, another one could be safe. So it helps us to achieve greatest possible fault tolerance. And if you visit to your AWS account, you will be able to see this on the right top corner of your account to switch to the region. Suppose you are right now in the Ohio region, US East 2. Then if you click on this US East 1, then you will be able to redirect to US East 1 region. I can show you in front of you itself just to have better understanding, and it will be certainly helpful for you. So right now I am in Mumbai region. You can see here, and suppose I'm creating one resource here. Let me create it in front of you itself. Launch instance. Here I'm just naming it test instance. I am using same AMI. Proceed without key pair because we don't need to connect to this instance. So yeah, this is creating. So yeah, it is created. You can see that this instance ID has been created in this account and in this particular region, which is Mumbai region. So you can see test instance is there, but let me just switch to US East 1 region just to verify if this instance is there or not. No, there is not that instance. Even there is no single instance. That filter was applied, but I have removed that filter as well now. So there is not a single instance. But let me re-switch to Mumbai region. Where is it? Is here, AP South 1. It is here, it is running. So this is the difference, I can say. So this is how the region works. And now comes to availability zone. Each region has multiple isolated locations known as availability zones. The code for availability zone is its region code followed by a letter identifier. For example, US East 1A. You must have seen right now the region code. It was US East 1, but for availability zone, it is US East 1A. It may be US East 1B, 1C, something like that. When you launch an instance, you select a region and a virtual private cloud, that is VPC, and then you can either select a subnet from one of the availability zone or let us choose one for you. So basically what you are doing here, either you manually choose one particular subnet from one of the availability zone. Basically if you want to launch the instance in a specific availability zone, then you have to choose subnet from that availability zone. But if you are not worried about the particular availability zone, then AWS will choose for you, but it will be launched in one particular specific availability zone only. If you distribute your instances across multiple availability zones and one instance fails, you can design your application so that an instance in another availability zone can handle request. You can also use elastic IP address to mask the failure of an instance in one availability zone by rapidly remapping the address to an instance in another availability zone. Suppose your one instance is running in USTist1A and that instance fails, and you want to move the traffic, you want to transfer that traffic to another instance in USTist1B availability zone, because instance in USTist1A is having issues. It may be due to multiple reasons, but in another availability zone it is running fine, but your traffic is coming via particular IP. It is targeting to particular IP. Then in that case you can do one thing, you can use elastic IP to assign to that particular instance, and if that particular instance fails, then you can use the same elastic IP to any other instance which is running fine in any other availability zone. So this makes the downtime as low as possible. So it can definitely help in reducing our downtime. So here you can see region is complete area. Suppose it is Mumbai, then there are multiple availability zones in that particular region itself. However, region will be same, like geographic region will be same, but still the availability zone will be little bit isolated from each other. Availability zone A, it has certain subnets. Availability zone B, it will have certain subnets. So it works like that. I will show you in AWS console itself. Now AZIDs. To ensure that resources are distributed across the availability zones for a region, AWS independently map availability zone to codes for each AWS account. For example, the availability zone USTist1A for your AWS account might not be the same physical location as USTist1A for another account. You can see here, the region is USTist1. There are 3 availability zones in this region: USTist1, USTist1C, USTist1B. And for this account, exact physical location is this one, availability zone UAC1, AZ1. And for this account, this is different. This is USTist1C. So basically, for same physical availability zone, code for particular account could be different from another account. So this is for your understanding, and it can be verified by AWS support. Now we have few more topics. Migrate an instance to another availability zone. So for that, you need to create AMI from the original instance, launch an instance in the new availability zone, because you can choose that availability zone while launching the instance, updating the configuration of new instance. So you can update the configurations as well as per your requirement. Now local zones. A local zone is an extension of AWS region in geographic proximity to the users. Local zones have their own connections to the internet and support AWS Direct Connect, so that the resources created in local zones can serve local users with low latency communication. So basically this is nothing, this is just like availability zone, but these are in close proximity for the users to have lowest possible latency. The code for local zone is its region code followed by an identifier that indicates its physical location. For example, US West 2 lakhs 1 in Los Angeles. So you can see here, in US West 2, there are 2 availability zones, suppose US West 2A, US West 2B. But then there is certain extension which has local zone, US West 2 less 1. So it will have impact in reducing the latency for the users. So these are used for that only. And you need to opt into local zones. So before you can specify local zone for your resources or services, you have to opt in. They are not by default provided by AWS. You have to manually select. And even there are not local zones in every single region. You have to visit this article for better understanding. I will mention this article in the description of the video. So some AWS resources might not be available in all regions. So that is also a limitation. So all resources may not be available there. Make sure that you create the resources that you need in the desired regions or local zones before launching an instance in the specified local zones. So you can see multiple local zones here, AWS local zones, Atlanta, US, Boston, US, Chicago, US, and there are multiple services which are provided to you. You can refer this for better understanding because this has a lot of information. But yeah, I just wanted to give you idea about local zones. And let me show you availability zone. You can see it is launched in AP South 1A, and you can click on EC2 dashboard. You can see zones ID here, what I was talking about. Enable additional zones. You can see here, there are few additional zones. If you want, you can opt in for that, but opt-in status is disabled here. Actions, manage zone group, enable, update. So you are enabling this zone group. So it works like that. If this is your requirement, it can help you in enabling that. So I hope this was helpful for you. And this was all in this video. Thanks for watching this video. Have a great learning, and please do subscribe this channel IT India.